Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahi Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anishrinvannotiभिः Sadanam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते. We will read the paragraph of sense organs of action. Vakpanipadapayupasthani. Vakpanipadupasthaniti panchakarmendriyani. वाचो देवता वह्निः हस्तयोरिन्द्रः पादयोर्विष्णुः पायोर्मृत्युः उपस्थस्य प्रजापतिः इति कर्मेन्द्रियदेवताः वाचो विषयभाषणं पाणियोर्विषयवस्तुग्रहणं पादयोर्विषयगमनं पायोर्विषयमलत्यागः उपस्थस्य विषय आनंद इति. We'll complete this first and then go to the next one. So yesterday we saw the sense organs of action. The sense organs of action similar to the sense organs of perception, they also work on 3 levels: Adhibhut, Adhiyagya and Adhidaiva. So here the first 5 sense organs of action were Vak, Pani, Pad, Payu, Pasthani. Vak means speech, Pani has the hands, Pad means legs, feet, Payu means anus, and Upasthani, genitals. These are the 5 sense organs of action. Then we came to the Devata portion, Adhidaiva. Vacho Devata Vanihi. We saw this, that the Devata of our speech has to be Agni. Because the Agni has got 3 qualities. Those 3 qualities we have to imbibe in ourselves so that our speech also becomes indomitable. A speech also becomes illuminating. A speech also becomes purifying, like the Agni. All these qualities of the Agni we have to inculcate within ourselves. The light, the nourishing element is also there in Agni, so that also has to be a part of our speech. So Vacho Devata Vannihi. Then then we come to Hastayor Indraha. We'll directly go to the topic. Hastayoho Indraha. Why Hastayor Indraha? Indra is the Devata, the power of lifting. Power of lifting has been given in the hands by the Devata called Indra. Indra, the word Indra can be broken into Idi, Aishwarye. Idi means Aishwarye. So this hand can give us everything. This hand has the capacity to give us everything. Ayam me hasto bhagavattaraha. And we also say in the morning, Karagre vasate Lakshmi, Karmate Saraswati, Karmulya Govinda, Prabhate Gardarshana. So that is also everything can be achieved through our hands. That is the power. The hands of Devta is residing in our hands. Power of lifting yourself, communicating, everything is in the hands. So that Devta is called Indra Devta. So Pratinidhitva of this has been done by Arjun also. Arjun is called as Mahabaho. Again and again, Arjun was called by Bhagavan as Mahabahu. So he had the tremendous capacity to lift. He had the tremendous capacity to do actions. Very big tasks were done by him. So his name was also Gudakesh. Gudakesh means what? Gudakayaha Ishaha. Gudakayaha Isha means who has conquered his sleep also. Nidrayaha Ishaha. So Indra is the Devata Idi. Idi means Aishwarya, prosperity. So prosperity can be got through our hands, through work, through whatever tasks we have undertaken. So Indra, in the story where Indra's pride was broken by Bhagavan Shri Krishna, there when he was the torrential rains were given by the Indra at that time. Bhagwan thought, let me punish him by making him lift the Govardhan Parvat. So it was as if we saw that as if Bhagwan is lifting the Govardhan, but actually it was Indra only who was lifting because the Devta of hand is Indra only. So he only, Lord made Indra only lift the whole Govardhan Parvat. That was a trick there. So this is animals, and animals are leg oriented. Remember the difference? Animals are leg oriented. They are not hand oriented. Only a few like the chimpanzees, the monkeys, gorillas, these people have hands. Elephants use their trunk to lift anything. Only monkeys and gorillas, they have this hand power in the hand. So others' hands are very weak. So Indra is not sitting in them. This shows that Indra Devta is not sitting in their hands. They have 4 legs, the animals, but they don't have any hands. This is the capacity of Indra, Hastayor Indraha. Our hands has tremendous capacity to work. Then we come to Padayoho Vishnuhu. Padayoho Vishnuhu. Padayoho Vishnuhu is the power to take strides. The power to take strides is in the feet. And the Devta of that is Vishnu. So Vishnu represents it through Vaman avatar. He took strides. He took 3 strides. He took 2 strides and he completely took away the whole of Brahmand. He measured the whole of Brahmand. Deveshti iti Vishnu, who envelops the whole world, who pervades the whole world. That is Vishnu. Deveshti. Veveshti means who pervades the whole world. That is Vishnu. So a person who the whole world is pervaded by this Vishnu. Veveshtiti Vishnu. So a person can work. This is the sign of what progress going forward. So Adhibhut is what? Adhibhut is sitting in our legs. That Lord is sitting in our legs. That in the form of power to take strides. That Vishnu is sitting in our legs as power to take strides. Okay. And Adhyatma is what? Thoughts are galloping in our minds that we have to take a stride, or the thoughts are galloping. And Adhideva is this Vishnu Devata. So wherever the power is working, all the three have to combine, Adhidev, Adhibhut, and Adhyatma. They all have to combine so that we can do that action. The science will not be able to prove this. Adhidev, this cannot be proved by science. Only Vedanta can prove this. Philosophy can prove this. So then we come to the next point, that is Payoho Mrityu. Payoho Mrityu. Mrityu is the devata of Enos. Enos. Now see, our body is creating all the toxics. Those toxics, if they are in the body, they continue to be in the body, it will be very harmful. Similarly, in the society, similarly, when we talk about the whole world, the Srishti, there are many toxic elements here. There are criminals, there are thieves, there are robbers, there are many types of hooligans or bad people, bad thoughts. To eliminate all those so that the Srishti as a body can be nourished as a whole. So we need a Devata called Mrityu. He is Yamraj. He will eliminate those elements from the Srishti. He will take them, the criminals, he will take them, the papis, the sinners, he will take them to the Narak, to the another plane of consciousness where he he can increase their sensitivity so that they can again return back to the um, actions, to do actions, and then those roots of action can again go for their betterment, that those fruits of actions and help for the betterment of that person. So otherwise, if they are left free, they'll roam about and they'll create havoc in the Srishti. That is why eliminating power is called the Yamaraj. Adhyatmic is to throw away the negativity. 3 levels. Adhyatmic is to throw away that negativity. Outside that, Lord is there, Yamraj is there, and Adhibhut means what? The power to throw. The power to throw means the anus, that thing. The anus is the Adhibhut. Adhyatma is the power to throw all the negativities, and Adhidev is that Devta Yamraj. Then we come to Upastha. Upasthasya Prajapati. Upasthasya Prajapati means what? Prajapati is Brahmaji, who has the power of creation. He has the power of creation, power to create something good, something positive that is created by Prajapati. So here Upastha means what? Genitals, genital organ that that is used to create, to procreate. It gives us enjoyment. It gives us procreation. So it should not, the one should not be creator of confusion. He should be creator of positivity. He should create something good. So Adhyatmic, when we come to Adhyatmic portion, that is the art or music or something very good or some positive thoughts, poetry, all this can be created. We have that creative power through the Adhidev called Brahmaji. That power is called, the Devta is called Brahmaji here. And Adhibhut means what? Adhibhut, the society has come due to that. The family has come due to that. Okay, so all this is Adhibhut outside. So before leaving the world, there we should have a capacity in us to create a legacy that we can go ahead and we leave behind a legacy for the others to be followed. That is a Shrestha, that is the notion of a Shrestha Purush, that he doesn't go away like that. Due to me, at least someone should benefit out of my existence. Somebody should have some better life due to me. My the surrounding, my place, my environment should become a better place due to me. So this is called Upasasya Prajapati. Mother is known for what child she has created. A teacher is known by what she has created. A nation is known by the people it has created. There's some nations you go, some countries you visit, you are awestruck to see the patriotism or the pride they take to be having that nationality that is missing in us. And that is why they beautify their country. They keep it clean, neat and tidy. Everything cannot be taught, it has to be caught. So mother is known what she has created. Father is known by what he has created. Teacher, a nation, a society, everything. Our personality is what we create. So this power of creation is in all of us. So we should always have this thing to create positivity around us. And then the next paragraph says Vacho Vishaya Bhashanam. What are the objects now? Topics. What are the topics? So Vacho Vishaya Bhashanam. The topic of speech is to talk or to speak. Parniyoho vishayah vastu granam, to grasp the things, to hold the things. Hands topic is to hold the things. Padayor vishayah, about the feet, it is to walk. Then payoho vishayah malatyaga, anus, to excrete. Upasthasya vishayah anandah, genitals, to give anand, to give enjoyment. So this is our topic of sense organs of action is completed here. Anybody has any question? Otherwise, I'll go to another topic. I'm unmuting you all. Anybody has any question today? Many people are missing. Okay, nobody has any question. We will go to the next topic. Karana Shariram Kim. Karana Shariram Kim. Karana Shariram Kim. Anirvachya Anadi Avidya Rupam. I'm breaking it and reading so that you don't have trouble. Anirvachya Anadi Avidya Rupam Sharirad-dvayasya Karanamatram Satsvarupa Ajnanam Nirvikalpaka-rupam Yad Asti Tat Karana Shariram. Once again, this is very important. So when we are going through each and every word, you should learn it also. Karana Shariram Kim Anirvachya Anadi Avidya Rupam Shariradvayas Karana Matram Satsvarupa Ajnanam Nirvikalpaka Rupam Yad Asti Tat Karana Shariram. So why is all this being described? This is all described so that our our subjectification with the bodies, the deep subjectification with our bodies is broken. How many types of bodies are there? Tell me. How many types of bodies are there? Which one?
Gross body,
Gross body,
causal body,
causal body,
subtle body.
subtle body. Good. So we have already seen the gross body. We have already seen the subtle body. How many components are there in the subtle body? Components in the subtle body?
Seventeen, Amma.
70. What are they?
Panchapran.
Panchapran,
Panchagyanendriya.
Panchagyanendriya, Panchakarmendriya,
Karmendriya.
Mana Buddhi.
Man Buddhi. Okay, so these were the components of the subtle body. Now the components of Karan Sharir is being mentioned. How it is made, what it is. Because it is very subtle body, still we can perceive because of our sense organs of actions and perceptions are there. But when you come to Karan Sharir, causal body, it is not casual body, okay? It is causal. The spelling the spelling is very near to that. So it's not casual, it is causal. Causal. Because it is the cause of the two bodies. Karana matram. So Sharira Dvasya Karana matram. That is why it is called causal body. The component, because we are not able to perceive it, we don't know whether it is there. But something called causal body is there, which is called Karana Sharir. That is the cause of these two Sharir. That is being spoken of here. What are the components? How it is made? It is made up of what? So Karana Shariram Kim. So our identification to these three bodies is so deep that we are not able to think ourselves apart from these three bodies. Whenever something is spoken about these three bodies, we take it on ourselves and we feel that it is being spoken about me. I don't feel that the legs are walking, but I feel I am walking. I don't feel that speech is working or the Devta is working through my speech. It should be when we are talking, I should feel that who's the Devta of Vak without saying. Who's the Devta of Vak?
Agni.
Agni. So that Agni Devta is using the Adhibhut through Adhyatma. What is it? Agni Devta, the Adhidev, through Adhyatma is using the speech, the Adhibhut. So my attention, rather than going on these three, my attention goes to I am speaking. I'm so identified. My attention should be taken to those devtas. That is why this topic has been made. That is why this topic is there to separate both of them. To separate myself and to separate this anatma. But every time anything is happening, I take it subjectively rather than objectively. So they are trying to shift our attention from subtle body, from the gross body, from the causal body to that Atma. That Atma does not have any sense organ. That Atma does not have any sense organs of action, perception, pranas, man, buddhi, does not have anything. So there is no action possible there. It is being spoken about us. What actually my swarup is, my nature is, my essence, about my essence they're talking about. And unless I know what my essence is, I won't be able to perfect any action. If I need to be perfect in any area, I have to have full knowledge about that thing. And without any knowledge, I directly jump into the sansar to do some project, to do some action, and then I get frustrated, I get irritated, I have my expectations, and when those expectations are not fulfilled, then I get depressed. Any action, whenever we are doing any action, the fruit of action is dependent on so many factors. So I cannot say, I will come to this Anirvachaniyam, there I'll explain more. We cannot say that when we are expecting anything, the fruit will come exactly like what I'm expecting. To take our attention there, that something else is working on something else, and why am I getting attached into it? In English, there's very nice word called nosy or pokey. I'm becoming very nosy. I'm getting myself involved where I should not. In Gita, the same thing has been said as guna guneshu vartanta. In 13th chapter, the same has been said as purushaha bhoktritve. पुरुषः प्रकृतिस्थो हि भोक्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृति जान गुणान. The shlok that we were seeing. When he becomes identified with these three bodies, Purushaha, that Atma, when he becomes Prakritistaha, Vrittistaha, then Bodistaha, in English if we call Bodistaha, when he is identified to the three bodies, then what happens? Then Prakriti Jangunan, he Bhoktritve Prakriti Jangunan, he as if he is enjoying, as if he is undergoing those sorrows, undergoing the torments, up and down, everything. He's not stable now. He's lost his quietness. All Shanti has gone. Only because he has identified to something wrong. So here we come to causal Sharir, Karan Shariram Kim. So our experiences of gross body and our experiences of subtle body. But we don't experience this causal body. Unless we take our attention, when the scriptures are saying, how do you, I'll ask you another question. How do you prove anything that is not visible by your sense organs? How do you prove anything that is not visible by your sense organs? What is the instrument to prove something that is not visible by your sense organs? First,
Man.
Man. Man is also a sense organs of perception. It is situated in subtle body. You all just told me in the components of subtle body, mind is one of the component. So mind cannot be a praman because mind is something that is not experienced by the mind. How will you prove it that it exists?
Shastra.
Shastra. Shastra. I have told it many times that this only I have said in Sanskrit as Atindriya Vishaya Pramanaha. Whenever we want to prove anything that is beyond our sense organs, for that the Shastra only has to be the Praman. Otherwise, we cannot prove it. We cannot prove it. How will you tell me? How will you prove the existence of Swarga? How will you prove? We haven't been there. How and nobody going there has returned back to tell us their experiences. How will you prove Narak? How will you prove Pitralok? How will you prove Atma? Nobody has seen Atma. Similarly, here also, the causal body, it exists because the Shastra has told us. Anything Atindriya Vishayaha Vedaha Pramana Bhavati. For anything that is beyond our perception, organs of perception, that is proved by the Shastra, the Veda, the Shruti. Okay. So when we are talking about this causal body, our experience is of subtle body, our experience is of gross body, but not of causal body. But people say that I exhibit certain tendencies, I have certain impressions, what we call sanskar. We all have those sanskars. Somebody likes music, somebody does not. In music also, somebody will like Indian classical music, somebody will like Western. Or somebody may like art more than music. Or somebody may like sports. These things are situated in that causal body in the form of impressions, in the form of tendencies, sanskars that we carry forward from past. And I'm talking about these things, but there are so many impressions, there are so many. The way I take my hand up, the way I close my eyes, the way I talk, the way I sit, the way I dress up, everything is due to my sanskar. The speed, the tone, everything is a sanskar. Sometimes we take these tendencies from our parents, we inherit it. Sometimes we may be carry forward from past births. So it's not ignorance, but these tendencies are there that act through this subtle body. The tendencies are lying in that causal body, but to act, it has to go through the subtle body. So what is shariram? Shiryamanatvat shariram. That it Shiryamanatvat means that which is continuously undergoing some modification, that will get destroyed. That is called shariram. So here body means what? Body, it means that it is of something else, someone else. Body only means that we say the body of the car. It is not of that driver. It does not belong to the driver. So similarly here also, it is not my body. It is objectively taken as causal body, that Atma does not have this body. So here also, Anirvachyam, Anadya, Avidya Rupam, the ignorance, the factor of ignorance that is lying in this causal body is not mine. It belongs to whom? It belongs to this body. When I say I am ignorant, when I say, please be careful, when I say that I am ignorant, what does that mean? I am saying that I am ignorant means I am knowing that I am ignorant. That means there is a knowledge aspect there also, that I know my ignorance. Who's saying? I am saying that I'm ignorant. That means that Atma is not ignorant. The ignorance factor lies in this causal body. This means that this ignorance is not my nature, it is the nature of this causal body. So now we come to the first word called Anirvachyam. This is a technical word and it does not mean that we cannot explain. Anirvachyam does not mean that we cannot explain or talk about it. So Nishcheshena, what is the definition of Anirvachyam? Nishcheshena vaktum na shakya. We cannot talk about it like this only. We cannot show it as this only. See, in Jain Dharma, in Jain Darshan, there is a philosophy called Syatmavad. In Jain philosophy, there is one rule called Syatmavad. What is it said there? It is said that anything in this world cannot be told perfectly like this is like this only, or this, the result of this will be this only. Even if you talk about some color, like if you talk about orange color or if you talk about yellow color, you cannot say that this is this perfect yellow color. There are so many shades, there can be so many permutations and combinations. Various nuances of that yellow shade. Which one are you talking about? If you say this is a watch, if you call this is this watch, what portion of this is a watch? All the components come together to make a watch. If you call a flower, which portion of that flower, the bud, the petals, the stem, the thorn, the fragrance, the color, which portion are you calling a flower? This is Syatmavad. Prarabdha or Purusharth? Now tell me, this example will explain it more in detail. We say that I have something called Prarabdha and I have something called Purusharth, self-effort. Purusharth means self-effort, and something called fate, what we call Prarabdha. But due to what it is made? I mean, due to Purusharth we have made Prarabdha, or because of Prarabdha there is Purusharth? If you say that I am donating so much, I am donating 1 lakh towards the building of a temple somewhere, that is my Purusharth. But isn't it that because the Prarabdha gave you money, that is why you can donate it? So you cannot say anything typically or in particular that this is this or this, the reason behind this is this. This is called Syatmavad. And Vedanta agrees to it 100%. So that is why here we cannot say anything about anything perfectly. This is Anirvachyam. Now, if we say that we all feel that Mahatma Gandhi ji, with due respects to him, due to Mahatma Gandhi ji, we all got freedom. India got freedom. But is it correct? Fully correct? At that time, the circumstances that were built around the world, globally, I'm talking about, because the Britishers lost in second, they were in a very dire position in Second World War. Then here also unrest was there. Now, many things contributed to our freedom at that time. You cannot say in particular that this is the reason behind this. Okay, so anything, to define anything is very difficult here, certainly. This is called Anirvachyam. So now we come to the meaning of Anirvachyam. What is the meaning of Anirvachyam? Anirvachyam means, like we just now said, that anything beyond the perception of sense organs cannot be spoken of or cannot be, it is just indicated through the pointers given to us by the Ved or the Shruti. It cannot be told. It cannot be worded because it is beyond my experiences of the sense organs. Similarly, here, when we are talking about this, or we are talking about Atma, see, world is also, I'll come to that, world is also Anirvachyam. Then Maya is also Anirvachyam, Jeev is also Anirvachyam. Atma, Brahma, of course, it is Anirvachyam. But they have different definitions. I'll come to that. So all these are because we cannot speak about them, because they are not the object of perception. That is why it is difficult to describe. You cannot describe. Now, I'll give you an example. Torch and its battery. Cause and effect. The torch, how will the torch know about its battery? If the torch wants to illuminate its battery, is it possible? The torch, the cause of the torch is the battery. Now the torch wants to illuminate its battery. If the battery is taken out, the torch will stop giving light. So it is not possible that the cause is illuminated by the effect. I'm going to a subtler point. It is not possible that the cause is illuminated by the effect. What is the point? My eyes, my tongue, my mind, my intellect, all are effects. But the cause is that Brahma, the cause is that Atma. So how is it possible that the effect illuminates the cause? Don't you have a question here? I mean, we always used to get this question when we were small, that how come Bhagwan Shiv, he has got the snake as an ornament? That snake does not bite him. This is the reason. The cause behind that snake is Lord Shiva only. The power that the snake is getting of biting or the poison, whatever, it is Lord Shiva only as his Atma. So the effect cannot illuminate its cause. The reflection of the sun cannot illuminate the sun. It's an effect. It's an effect. Here, the rule that we say in Sanskrit is Swatmani Kriya Abhavat. Another rule. I'm giving you many rules. Another rule. What does it say? Swatmani Kriya Abhavat. One cannot act on itself. The cause, the effect cannot illuminate its cause. The feet cannot walk on its own feet. This point of my fingertip cannot touch this fingertip. My eyes cannot see my eyes. I can see my eyes. You are seeing the reflection. You cannot see your eyes. You try. This is called Swatmani Kriya Abhavat. The best example is of the battery and the torch. The cause cannot be illuminated by the effect. And the effect can work on something else other than itself. Legs cannot walk on itself. Some people are getting bored. I can understand, but what to do? Topic is so causal body cannot come in front of this subtle body and the gross body because it is the cause. Coming to the point, causal body is the cause of Sukshma Sharir and Sthul Sharir, subtle body and gross body. And that is why it cannot be illuminated by the gross body. I cannot talk about it. I cannot perceive it because it's the cause. It's written here. See, Sharira Dvayasya Karana Matram. So it is the cause of these two bodies. And that is why it cannot be described. Anirvachyam, the first word. Now, if we say Atma is also Anirvachyam. But when we come to Atma as Anirvachyam, the definition there says that it is due to non-perception of the Vang, speech, mana, mind, agocharatvam. It cannot be perceived by the speech and the mind. That is why it is Anirvachyam. But when we come to this causal body, it is said Sad Asad Vilakshanam. It is not Sat or not Asat. These are very typical, very deep and very hitting definitions of Anirvachyam or of the Vedanta Shastra. So we have to remember this as it is. So if we are talking about Anirvachyam of the Atma, it will tell us about Vang, Manasa, Agocharatvam because it is beyond the speech and beyond the mind. That is why it is Anirvachyam, Atma. But when we come to the sense organs, I mean the causal body, why is it Anirvachyam? Causal body, why is it Anirvachyam? Because it cannot be said as Sat, neither it can be said as Asat. What is Sat? Whatever is there, we call it as Sat. Whatever is there, that we call it as Sat. Whatever is not there, we call it as Asat. But it is neither Sat nor it is Asat. Because we know that the tendencies are there in our causal body. So we cannot say that it is not there completely. But if it was Sat, then it will never go. It will always be there. Then we won't have moksha anytime. Because we'll always be with that causal body, which has ignorance in that. Because that ignorance goes away through Gyan. That is why we cannot say that it is Sat, because it goes away. But because it is creating so much of problems, we cannot say that it is not there. It is there. And that is why they speak of it as Anirvachyam. We are not talking about it. We cannot typically Syatmavad, remember Syatmavad of genders. We cannot in particular talk about it like it is like this only. Because if you say it is there, then it won't go anytime. It will always be there. Will always be with ignorance. But my experience is not that I'm ignorant. I am there. I know that I'm existing. I don't need any knowledge to know about myself that I exist. Do you need anything? No, I don't need anything. Whenever I get up in the morning, my sense organs are not working. Many people take half an hour to wake up, to come to normal. They just sit there on their bed and they just or I don't know, in some other world. At that time, they are not aware of their body, neither they are aware of their mind. Maybe outside it is dark, their eyes are also closed, but still the feeling that I am there exists. They know that they are there. I know that I am there. I don't need any other instrument to know about myself. So this proves that I'm not ignorant as such. I know about myself. That knowledge is there. So I can't say that it is asat. I can't say that it is asat. Both ways, if I go, I'll I'll come to a position that I cannot justify my statements. And that is why it is better not to talk about it because it can't be spoken. You're getting the point. And that is why here it is said that is anirvachyam. See, there are 5 points. Can you tell me naam, jati, guna, kriya, sambandh? Naam, jati, guna, kriya, sambandh. What are these 3 things, 5 things? Who will tell me? What is naam? Naam? What is jati? These 5 things we have seen many times. Naam, jati, guna, kriya, sambandh. Jati, guna, kriya, sambandh. The rudis also there. What is this? What is naam? Name. We give it some name. Jati means what? Any shape. Guna, any characteristic. Kriya, the action. Sambandh, there has to be some relation. So when these 5 things are acting, they are acting on something that is perceivable, that can be seen, that is perceived. But here, when we talk about Atma, when we talk about here causal body, these things cannot work there because these 5 are not able to act there. Guna, jati, nam, kriya, sambandh, these things are not able to act there in the causal body. So this is the dharma of subtle body and the gross body, but here not with the causal body. And this is the reason why it cannot be described as this. Whenever we want to describe anything, we use these 5. Nam, jati, guna, kriya, sambandh, rudi. We we either describe that thing by its name or some jati or the shape, I mean, or some characteristic or some action or some relationship. But this works at the level of subtle body and the gross body, but not the causal body. Like how can you describe darkness? Tell me. Can you describe darkness? How will you define darkness? Think about it. What is darkness actually? Does it exist?
Absence of light.
Absence of light. It is not something something gross to be defined or some object. You cannot objectify the darkness. What is it? When there's absence of light, it is called darkness. So how will you remove darkness? Darkness does not exist. You have to throw light. That's all. This is anirvachyam. That cannot be described. Then the next word is anadi avidya rupam. Anadi avidya rupam. Anadi means beginningless. It does not have a beginning. Why? Because if you make something with beginning, that means what? It has come into existence. it is real, then it won't go. That is why you cannot call it as with some beginning. What is birth? Tell me. Birth is the absence of प्रागा भाव. प्रागा भाव का अंत ही जन्म है. Absence of prior non-existence. This body was not existing before certain time. 1945, this body came into existence. Before 1945, where was it? Praga Bhav. So that Praga Bhav, prior non-existence, came to an end in 1945. Are you getting my point? Praga, you all have become so serious. Praga Bhav ka ant. Praga Bhav, prior non-existence of this body came to an end. This body started. So when it started, that means it has become real, then it won't go. That is why here it is said it is without beginning. We don't know when it came, we don't know. Because it's without beginning. Now, suppose here ignorance. If you say that ignorance began, suppose we take a hypothesis that ignorance came into existence in, suppose we will say 0000 time dot 00001. Okay, like we say to 2022 0001. It started. Now, if it has started, that means it has to come from somewhere. And just now we said, Swatmani Kriya Bhava, something cannot come on itself, something cannot work on itself. So it has to have something other than itself to come out. Like a mother gives birth to a child. Child cannot give birth to child. Child and mother are separate. Similarly, for the knowledge to come into being, ignorance to come into being, it has to have something apart from ignorance. And what is that knowledge? Knowledge and ignorance, there are two things. So if ignorance is coming out, it has to come from knowledge only. Is it possible? Think about it. That knowledge is giving birth to ignorance. ये कैसे हो सकता है कि ज्ञान से अज्ञान आए? It's not possible that knowledge is giving birth to ignorance. First I knew, then I forgot. It's not possible. So if we say that it has got a beginning, that means before that, what was there? Before that, knowledge was there. Ignorance began. Ignorance came from knowledge. This is not possible. And that is why it is said that it is anadi. It does not have a beginning. And this, when we say that this ignorance does not have a beginning, many questions are negated here. What questions? Prarabdha came first. What was my first body? When was I born? First body, causal body. When was the first causal body? When did it come? Subtle body. All are because current sharir is anadi. That is why what happens, even the two others, the subtle body and the gross body, they are also anadi. Because the cause is anadi, therefore effects are also anadi. You cannot say when was my subtle body, first subtle body, when did I get? Because these are the things that go away. If these things go away, that means they are not real. Real thing won't go away. It won't disappear. It won't get destroyed. Okay. So here also avidya, anadi avidya rupam. Avidya means what? Avidya means ignorance. It goes away through gyan. So that is why that agyan is also not sat. It is also not true because it goes away through gyan. It goes away. That's why our swarup is not agyan. The causal body has got agyan. It has got ignorance. But that is not our nature. That is not Atma's nature. The next is Sharira Dvasya Karanam. This we'll see next time. I've already told about it. It is a Karan of both the Sharir. Then Sat Swarupa Agyanam. This we'll take next time. Anybody has any question regarding this? The people who had questions, they are not here today. Isn't it? Okay. So we'll conclude. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om